I'm so happy that you joined me for week 2. So thank God you came back. I hope everybody enjoyed week 1 to kick this off. And of course, those are a little gentle. Everything in this first phase of embodied radiance is going to be gentle because we want to be nice to ourselves and not put the pressure on like a drill sergeant or cardio kickbox class or something like that. So it's like we don't have to figure it all out in that week. We want to start awakening and becoming witness to self in a gentle, compassionate way, which means that we could spend the rest of our life, which is exactly how evolution happens, is it's for the rest of our life. So I don't ever want you to feel like you should be reaching a finish line here. It's just constantly, and I don't want to say constantly, it's just bringing awareness to the fact that evolution is forever as we exist in the third dimension, in this physical form, if you so choose to, right? I mean, at any point, anybody could say, well, I'm just done with self-discovery. So I don't want to grow. I don't want to love myself more. I hope that you don't do that because I think we're going to have a lot of fun here. So welcome to week 2. So last week was all about awakening awareness and having those moments where we get to just witness ourselves from an almost an external perspective, the mirror awareness exercise, how we showed up for that. This week is all about awareness implementation. So again, reading through that intro, and just, again, embodiment affirmation every morning, just anchoring that in, using any other affirmations that you feel called to. One of the bigger things with these types of programs, or I don't want to say programs, but anything that you are receiving from others, is take what resonates and leave what doesn't, right? So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If something doesn't resonate, though, I do really highly recommend that you investigate a little bit more into why that potentially isn't feeling good for you, and what that information is, because that is an exercise in itself. So when we are resistant to some things, it can sometimes be deeper than just I don't want to do it or I don't like it, because it could have a deeper meaning for us, and of course in life what we resist persists. So someday we have to face these things that we keep resisting, so no time like the present. Week 2, again, awareness implementation. We have the 2 exercises that we're going to be focusing on this week. We have future self visualization. So diving into, like, right now, week 2, looking at who and how and what we're developing is important because it's going to give us a little bit of structure and direction into just sitting and reflecting, or feeling deeply into, what do I want my life to look like? How do I want to show up in my life? And when we can kind of create a little bit of that visualization now in week 2, as we move through the other weeks and then we get into the next phase of the community, it's going to just give us a little anchor to go, yeah, like I've always seen myself as this, and I've always strived to accomplish this, and I've always seen my life going in this direction. And sometimes, it doesn't, because life happens. And so just to kind of get you back to a place, or to a place that you have this visualization, this person that you see yourself as, and we're going to write it down, and we're going to kind of almost like an ideal life blueprint type of a thing, but not as extensive. Where it's like, who are you, what do you want, where do you want to be, how do you treat yourself, how do you show up for you, and then and then we'll be able to use our assessment, daily assessment, again, just to kind of give ourselves a little bit of a measurable focus in these exercises in each of these weeks, and then at the end we'll kind of accumulate them, which is it's a fun thing to do, because measurable does mean that we have something to take away from it, and reflect back on. The conscious habit observation, right? So many of us, we live in autopilot, and sometimes we just don't even know that we're doing things that don't necessarily serve us until we take a step back and learn to witness the actions, the patterns, the habits, the language, the thoughts, and then we have the power to go, that doesn't serve me, and I'm going to practice changing that. I'm going to practice shifting that energy. So yeah, so the conscious habit observation. And I know for myself, like, I mean, I'm a super structured person. And so when I implement the structure that I do, around my habits, because I firmly believe that the more I can create structure in my life, the more time I have for spontaneity. The more time I have to say, oh, it's okay if I just, say I don't need to do anything. I can go to the beach all day and just practice self-love and ground and get sunshine. um so that can be a little bit different than autopilot, right? Because if you're consciously choosing a habit and a structure that does serve you and creates more time in your life, less chaos, less overwhelm, then that is a good thing. So if you're already a structured individual and you have these things in place that afford you to feel more grounded, then that is amazing, and we're going to keep those. If you are somebody who just literally runs on autopilot, where you have no concept of what you say, what you do, how you show up, your reactionary behavior versus action behavior, then we definitely want to take a deeper look at that autopilot type behavior, because that is not showing up. That is just making it through. Right? That's just getting it done. And it probably feels overwhelming, stressful, inconsistent, and chaotic. And yet we don't even know we're doing it, and we don't even know that we feel that way. So that's where, again, we want to take the time to really look and observe those habits, and of course, we just want to become more aligned and grounded and focused on self and showing up for self, because the better we show up for self, the better everybody around us gets to experience us. So yeah, so week 2 is going to be pretty awesome. And then again, at the end of week 2, your show up and show out post, it doesn't matter what it is, whatever it is, as long as it makes you feel good and it is something that has created self-connection and just makes you feel radiant, and share that with the group, because everybody's going through it and we all need a support system. And I'll tell you what, I love supporting wins. I love it so much, because it doesn't have to be my win, right? But I love seeing wins, and I love to share in the wins of others, because it helps me to go, well, I have that. I have this ability to cultivate. I have, and I can remember, like, when I was going through it, like, about less than it, like, well, no, it was about a little over a year ago. And crazy stuff has happened in my life. Maybe not as crazy as some, but for me, it was like, okay, this huge shift happened. And my girlfriend, she was setting up her new store, and all I remember feeling was like, I was unstable. I was feeling like, is this going to work for me? Am I in the right place? What am I doing with my life? Like, why does the universe just keep handing me all of these challenges? And yet I'm just trying to create sustainability, safety, and just, maintain in my radiance. But anyway, so my friend, she was setting up, her real store, her real boutique. And oh my God, it was so amazing. And yet, she was just on cloud 9, and you could see this just oozing out of her and how excited she was. And knowing that, I didn't want to bring my where I was into somebody's success. I wanted to celebrate in their success because I wanted that energy to flow into my cup, right? And so instead of pouring my, unstable energy into somebody else's, I was like, oh my God, let me help you like set up the racks and set up the store layout and just, do all these things. Because again, it was a way for me to, celebrate in a success. So the show up, show out, celebrate in your own success and celebrate in somebody else's success, because that's the energy that we want to bring into our life. And yeah, so hey, I'll be coming back to you next week. Don't forget that we will be having every 2 weeks the Embodied Radiance Gathering, where we're going to just create a strong community where we women are just, available to share, to receive, to, just up level and practice that self love. And I'm so excited about this. So, yes, all right, I will see you next time.